Go next to the ranking member of the full committee. Ranking Member Lofgren, you're recognized for 5 minutes.
Well, thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you to all the witnesses. Mr. Abbs, first I want to thank you for the work that you are doing in the Bay Area, making the air in my district more breathable, and by extension, improving the health of my own constituents. Now, in your testimony, you note that locomotives account for nearly a third of the pollution reduction needed to bring highly polluted air basins into attainment of the Clear Air Act requirements. Now, the other witnesses today have come citing much smaller numbers, contextualizing locomotive emissions as a portion of total U.S. emissions or sector-wide emissions. Can you please explain this discrepancy? Does pointing to say that 0.6% of total U.S. GHG emissions miss the point when it comes to protecting the public health of frontline communities?
Thank you, Congresswoman. I think the context that's missing from some of those statements is that it focuses specifically on greenhouse gases. This is the CARB regulation is an air toxic control measure, and so it's designed to get reductions in diesel particulate matter, which is a carcinogen, and also to get reductions in NOx, which is an ozone precursor. So the overall impact of locomotives nationwide may be 2% in terms of GHGs, but really when you look at it, the purpose of the California regulation is to get public health benefits, and to get public health benefits through reductions of diesel particulate and NOx. There is, as the regulation does point out, there are reductions in GHGs that are anticipated, but primarily those health benefits are from the air toxics.
Thank you. That's very helpful in understanding this. Now, in your testimony, you cited the CARB figures estimating premature death, emergency room visits, cancer rates, and those are striking numbers. Can you share what these drastically improved health metrics would mean for residents of the Bay Area, where Mr. Mullen and I represent?
So when you look at health risks in different air basins as part of that locomotive regulation, about half of those costs, those health benefits, come from residents in and around the South Coast locomotive operations. About a quarter of the remaining benefits accrue to the Bay Area, and then the San Joaquin Valley also gets a significant amount of benefits. But between the South Coast, the San Joaquin Valley, and the Bay Area, we get most of about 100% of the benefits, and we have about 100% almost of disadvantaged communities between those three air basins.
You know, we recently had a briefing on the hydrogen hubs in California and the very aggressive plans for the trucking industry in particular to rapidly move that industry into zero emissions. I think that's important when it comes to not only the Bay Area but the whole state, which leads you may not know the answer to this question because you're Bay Area focused in your job, but the children of the Central Valley in California have the highest asthma rate in the United States, and it's from pollution. And I'm wondering if you can identify how much of that would be ameliorated through the rail rule, how much would be ameliorated through the transition to hydrogen hubs and trucking, because I-5 is a major issue in terms of emission. Do you have that information, or do I need to ask someone else?
I don't have that exact information, but I can give you something that may satisfy you, at least for this hearing, and then I'll work on getting you some more information later. CARB did what they called a truck versus train analysis, where they looked at the pollution disbenefits of transporting a similar amount of goods by train and by truck. And what they've discovered is that in the 2020 to 2024 time period, with the advances that we've made in clean technology for the heavy-duty trucking fleet, a fleet of trucks transporting the same amount as a train has about the same amount of pollution. And so the cleanliness of our trucks have gotten to the point where they're almost cleaner than the same amount of transport by locomotive. And so what we're hoping to do as part of this regulation is truly get those locomotives to be as clean as they claim they are.
Thank you very much. My time has expired, but any information you can provide on the questions after this hearing would be greatly appreciated. I yield back, Mr. Chairman.
Gentlewoman yields back. We will go next to the gentleman from Texas,